It's the Unhappy Hour.
Broadcasting to you live from the Milky Way Galaxy, my name's Brian Engelman, and this is the Unhappy Hour Sports Show on the TNAM network with the New American Media. Hi. We have breaking news in the NBA. This is where if I had a producer, I would go dun 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 dun, dun, do that 1930s ticker tape breaking news sound effect. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to tell you that there has been a massive trade in the NBA. Russell Westbrook is being shipped over to the Houston Rockets in exchange for Chris Paul and a bunch of draft picks. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in Zak Baris to discuss this and break it down because, you know, kind of wondering what comes next. I don't think we're done here. I don't think Paul wants to go to Oklahoma City. Call me crazy.
Hello?
Hey, Zach, we are live. How you doing today, sir?
Ooh, I'm good.
Yeah, man. Breaking news late in the day on a Thursday. Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook, man. Break it down. What's happening in this deal?
So basically Oklahoma City is now finally called the end of the big three, you know, from the time they started, and it's over. You know, Westbrook is the last piece left. Well, technically they're big four that they had. Now, let's not forget, Presti built this team. I've been ragging on Presti for years. I think he drafted well at the beginning. I think he failed to have put the right pieces in place for that roster, though, on numerous occasions. Failed with two coaches. You know, and it's been a disaster ever since. Yeah, they're a perennial playoff team, but one finals appearance since, you know, in the last 13 years since they really put that team together, 12 years, is kind of a joke. Let's just start from the beginning. You draft Kevin Durant, Jeff Green. Green was a semi-bust, but he was still always a good player. You know, you traded Ray Allen for him, but I'm not going to knock on the Jeff Green thing. You're not perfect all the time. Next year, you go out and draft Russell Westbrook, who at the time was a reach, turned out to be a star. The following year, you take Harden over Rubio. Again, it gets mocked all over the place. Harden turned out to be a great player, superstar, MVP. Russ is an MVP, Durant's an MVP. It's not every day you draft three MVPs together and only get one finals appearance and win one finals game.
That's pretty incredible when you break it down that way.
MVPs on a roster.
How many teams have had three MVPs? There's not a lot of teams that can even say that.
I don't think it's many other than I don't even know if the Lakers have done it at one point. I'm really not sure, but I would assume when Kareem, Magic, and Worthy were all on the same team, there's a possibility that happened. I can't recall any other situation where it's even close. We witnessed it with David Robinson and Tim Duncan. We witnessed it with Tim Duncan. Kawhi Leonard hasn't been a league MVP. He's been a finals MVP twice. But, that's it. So let's sit here and break this down a little bit further. It's kind of funny when you look at this that it just proves in the NBA how important you can just say ancillary, complementary pieces are in a roster. Let's take, for example, this Oklahoma City team back, when they went to the finals. Let's take a look at those Miami teams with LeBron. The Miami teams with LeBron, their first year, they didn't have the core pieces to be able to win the title. They didn't have Ray Allen. They didn't have Shane Battier. They didn't have the additional pieces they needed to win it. They brought those guys in the next year. They won it. They won it the following year as well. Because they brought in those complementary pieces in order to win.
Right.
Oklahoma City was never, ever able to bring the complementary pieces. Don't forget at one point, don't forget how good Ibaka was, too, at the beginning of his career, too.
Right.
Okay? And that thing is, they had their big four. They failed to win. They never went for it. And then you had Clay Bennett, the owner. I don't know whose fault this is. I'd go it's probably more on Clay Bennett because I recall at the time he didn't want to spend the luxury tax. Well, he ultimately cost himself multiple finals in OKC because if they would have had Harden, Westbrook, and Durant, it would have almost been impossible not to win a finals. They would have had three of the top six players in the NBA at one point. It would have been better than any of the Warriors teams, too, because they would never have had Durant. So let's take a look back and say, Clay Bennett, really messed up. Sam Presti messed up by not firing Scott Brooks early enough, and then he messed up by replacing with Billy Donovan. It's just so shocking, and I told you both coaching searches. I recall telling you how much I've always hated Scott Brooks on the show. Not as a person, but as a coach.
Right.
I've mentioned it 100 times of what a poor coach Scott Brooks was. It was a bad hire by the Wizards. It was never a good hire. He's never done a good job. This is the guy who had a league MVP as the sixth man and coming off the bench.
Yeah, you wonder why you can't find minutes for James Harden. Like you said, future MVP. He's not even cracking the starting lineup.
He had Sabo Cephalosha in the starting lineup over Harden. That's all you need to know about the roster construction of Oklahoma City and the coaching staff there. They made this big deal of how well they were put together, and you just look, it was one of the poorest coaching decisions of all time. It ultimately cost them numerous championships between their coaching decision, the front office and the ownership's ability to not spend earlier in the career because they didn't want to spend in the luxury tax. Then they realized in order to compete, they had to. And then they lost Durant. At that point, it was too late. It was just too late. So,
in hindsight, Zach, I was just going to ask, in hindsight, do you think there was a better coach out there at the time? Do you recall thinking, it would be great if they got so-and-so, or, we'd have to kind of...
I'm not recalling at the moment, but there were plenty of better coaches that they were on the market that they could have had, and they never went after him. They were so comfortable with Scott Brooks and losing in the playoffs. It just, they had some really good years, but they just couldn't get over that hump. And they just waited way too long to fire Scott Brooks. And what they did is they replaced him with Billy Donovan. Donovan's an awful coach in the NBA. He's a college coach. He's not an NBA coach. It's different, with the Cavs hiring D-line, because we know the Cavs are going to suck no matter what next year. Take the leap and do what you have to do. Try to bring in a coach, try to make an innovative system out of a team with no talent. Go ahead and do it. They should have brought an established coach into Oklahoma City from the NBA. They could have helped work, and they just couldn't make it. They just couldn't make it work. And ultimately they lost to Golden State in 7 when they should have beaten them, and then they lost to Durant. It's one of these things you're going to look for it on 30 for 30 in a few years, and there's going to be an unbelievable 30 for 30 about the failure of the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Which one is worse? Would you say the Cleveland Indians of the 1990s or the Oklahoma City Thunder?
This is worse. Because the Indians of the 90s, baseball's so much more difficult. Don't forget, one player doesn't make as big of an impact in baseball as it does in basketball. Let's put it this way. The St. Louis Cardinals won the World Series with Pujols in his last year, but next year they were in the NLCS. And almost won it. Without Pujols. I don't think losing a player in Major League Baseball makes that big of a deal, one player, compared to the NBA. You lose LeBron compared to Albert Pujols, you go from being an NBA championship team to being in the cellar of the NBA. In Major League Baseball, you lose one player, it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, you have 9.
It makes a minimal difference.
Yeah, 1/9 versus 1/5. The percentage of the impact that somebody can have. And obviously a pitcher makes a big impact, but they're only every 5 games,
So
let's
put it this way. If I would have told you the Indians would be 12 games up right now in a wild card position, if I would have told you a couple weeks ago that they'd be without Kluber, Bauer pitching like crap, without Carrasco because Carrasco's out, obviously with cancer right now with leukemia, and they would be without Clevenger for the majority of the season too, and they were 11.5 I could see, I believe that. I'd be surprised they'd even be 11.5. But if you told me they were in a wild card spot and that Shane Bieber would be their all-star pitcher out of that starting 5, I would have told you were crazy at the beginning of the year.
And that's why you love sports. You just got to play the games.
It's not that I don't like the Biebs. I love the Biebs.
Love the
I
Biebs.
think he's a great pitcher, but it would have been the least likely. I would have been like,
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would have been like, it wouldn't have shocked me that he was an all-star, but if you would have told me that one of our starting pitchers was an all-star, he'd have been number 4 or 5 on that list, in my opinion.
Well, yeah. He's the newest. You're thinking maybe Bauer.
That's what I'm getting at, though. The Indians lost. Basically Bauer, who was finished second in the Cy Young voting last year, or third. They lost Kluber, who's a 2-time Cy Young Award winner, and Carrasco's barely pitched this year either. And just hasn't pitched the way he is. Clevenger, was crushing it the first month of the season, then he was down. Hasn't been the same since yet. And the Indians, their offense is in just shambles, and then all of a sudden, they lose Brantley, but they're 50-38. They're right where they were a year ago.
We are consistent.
That's all I'm getting at. Baseball and football are more team sports. The only position in football that makes that big of a difference is quarterback.
Right, they touch the ball on every single play.
Let's be realistic. The Browns plugged in a quarterback after having some talented rushers. They could never win anything because they never had a quarterback. All of a sudden, you plug a quarterback into the team. Oh, what do you know? They start winning football games.
Yeah.
Makes everyone better around him, too. In the NBA, I just feel like it's the one sport where you lose a star player and you're just cooked. You're done. We've witnessed it twice with the Cavs with LeBron James. People are sure, this is a championship team. They'll be in the playoffs. LeBron leaves. Oh, okay, they're the worst team in the league.
Well, I will say, if Kevin Love wasn't injured and Tristan wasn't injured, and there's extenuating circumstances. I'll be an apologist.
But they wouldn't have been. That's the thing, though. But I'm just saying, though, that's how impactful one player can be in the NBA compared. And when you lose 3 league MVPs,
that's incredible.
It's a significant hit.
That's incredible.
Let's just put it like it is. And now 2 of those MVPs are now sitting there in Houston, both via trade.
Incredible.
Not free agency. Those are both there by trade.
And so talk for a second about Russell Westbrook and his willingness, his desire to be reteamed with James Harden. Because when you talk about these superstar players, there's a lot of personalities there. What are you getting bringing those two back together as far as who's going to be in charge? How are they going to play well together?
It's going to be tough because they're 2 very dynamic players. They both like to handle the ball. They both lead the league in usage rates. They're right up there in the top 3 to 4 in usage rates every year. Russ is always number 1. Then James Harden's usually number 2 or 3. It's flirting with LeBron over there. So you now have, you're controlling 60% of your usage, 65% of your usage is now coming from between 2 of the players, which is just shocking.
Right.
You're going to see, they need to keep Russ from taking jump shots. Let him drive to the hole. You don't need to sit there and take jump shots. You're not forced to. Let Harden do that. Let Eric Gordon do that. You got Capella under the rim. It's going to be a very interesting lineup. You got PJ Tucker. I'm very interested to see how the Rockets are. They're going to be fascinating to watch. But let's make this mark like it is. There's no super team in the NBA anymore. There's no team with 3 All-Stars on it anymore.
That is
in the East,
wild.
The East, your super team is Milwaukee with Chris Middleton and Giannis, 2 All-Stars. In Brooklyn, you've got Kyrie and Durant.
Durant injured, of course.
Yep, Durant's injured. Boston, you've got Tatum and Brown, which neither one of them are All-Stars.
Doesn't move the needle.
Kemba.
Okay, Kemba, you're right.
Kemba,
Yeah.
You've got Kemba, who's the All-Star there. That's it. Philly has their own big 3, big 4, or whatever you want to call it, but it's not a super team by any means. Ben Simmons is an All-Star, and Embiid's an All-Star, and Horford's an All-Star. And Tobias Harris, the fringe All-Star. But then, obviously, we witnessed last year with Jimmy Butler being there, replacing Horford. I don't think it's going to be an easy walk through the East. But, listen, I think in order, I think you've got Milwaukee, depending on how Giannis progresses, Philadelphia, and then Boston is your top 3. And if Durant's able to come back next year and he's healthy, and Brooklyn can sneak in there in a mid-round playoff spot, getting 6 to 8, even 5 to 8, because it's not going to be that difficult, and Durant's able to return, then Brooklyn, levels up to the top. In the West, though, the Warriors have Steph's an All-Star, Draymond's an All-Star, D'Angelo Russell's technically an All-Star, but he's not an All-Star anymore in the West, and Klay Thompson's injured. But Klay Thompson, I assume, will be back next season. And then Russ will be coming off the bench. That'll be interesting, too. But they're just not the Warriors of old. You have the Lakers with Davis and LeBron, and Cousins is a shell of himself, so don't count him as an All-Star. You've got Kawhi and Paul George. You've got T.J. McCollum and Damian Lillard with Hassan Whiteside. And then you've got Houston with Westbrook and Harden. So there's a lot of quality. And don't forget, you also have the Nuggets, too. The Nuggets have Jamal Murray, Jokic, Paul Millsap. The Nuggets are going to be another fun team to watch next year, too.
I like Jokic a lot. I think he's a heck of a player. I enjoy his game.
I like the Nuggets roster a ton. But
yeah.
I still don't feel like they have that superstar, real superstar who can get them to the top.
Well, remember about the Nuggets. Remember how they had to offload Carmelo Anthony and finally move on from that project. Just like we're talking about the Thunder here, moving along from Westbrook. At some point, we know that the dollar is more valuable than a bunch of quarters, but the Nuggets have, in a way, that they had to go through that phase. Obviously, that was several years ago, but now they've completely retooled and revamped the roster, and they're back to competing at a really high level. But either you have championship pedigree and capability, or you're a pretender. You have to figure out who you are, and you have to figure it out quick. So I don't know if the Thunder waited too long, if they traded Harden too quick. I don't know. Like you said, this is going to be a great 30 for 30, or an awful one if you're a Thunder fan. It's just...
It's like, this is one where they had so many opportunities to win and just couldn't get it done. They had their failures against the Spurs. Then when they did beat the Spurs, they lost to the Heat. And in every opportunity, they never got out of the West ever again. I mean, you just saw Durant basically just give up on them. I mean, Durant gave up and said, I can't win here.
Yeah, he got the ball rolling. That's for sure. A couple of years ago doing that. Let's switch gears real quick to Chris Paul, 34 years old compared to Westbrook at 30. This is obviously going to maybe give James Harden a little bit more time, a few more years if they're going to try to get something out of that, bring a championship down to the Rockets. Talk about Chris Paul. Is Chris Paul someone that's going to play for the Oklahoma City Thunder? Or is he going to force a buyout? Is that even an option?
He's got 3 years, $124 million left. I don't think anybody's buying him out of that.
Oh, okay.
I think he's going to play them. You can't even use the stretch provision on that.
What is the stretch provision? How does that work?
Where you get to basically double the time amount and just cut the salary in half.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So, but you can't do that with Chris Paul. It's just too long. You're going to have to stay with him for the next 2 years and then trade him as an expiring deal in year 3. So, stuck with him. It's just that simple. You're not gonna sit there and buy him out and let him go to the Lakers on a minimum deal. It's not gonna happen. And if it does, then the Thunder are crazy. They're absolutely crazy if they let that happen.
Because that would be too much of a price to pay for a couple of draft picks and a couple of pick swaps?
The Lakers don't have anything to give back. They don't have the salary. They can't take on the salary. No team in the league can take on the salary in a trade, and no team's going to. It's virtually an untradeable contract.
Interesting. So if you're Chris Paul and you wake up today, like how upset are you? Are you upset? Or...
Here's the thing. If that current roster is constructed in Oklahoma City, it's still a playoff team, in my opinion. Maybe an 8 seed, but with Chris Paul, Steven Adams, they do have Danilo Gallinari. They might be an 8 seed in the West. Right now, let me take a look at the West and see where I'd rank it. Let's see. Hold on, let's see.
And by the way, while you take a look, let me just say this is what the Thunder are looking at. They have at least 2 first-round draft picks in 6 of the next 7 drafts. In year 2020, they have 2 of them.
If they're not top 5, top 10, it doesn't make a difference. So let's take a look at the West.
Okay.
Right now in the West at the top, I'm putting over the Clippers at number 1 in the number 1 seed. I have Denver as the number 2. It's not that I think they're going to be better than all these teams. I have Denver at 2. I think the Lakers will be at 3. I think Houston 4, Utah 5, Portland 6, San Antonio maybe 7. Oh, shit, I forgot about the Warriors.
That's right. Those guys.
Hold on. I'd go Clippers, Nuggets, Rockets, Warriors, Lakers, Trailblazers, or Jazz.
Oh, yeah, the Jazz. I think the Jazz are going to be impressive this year.
I honestly, I couldn't even predict the West today. I couldn't. I'm looking at it right now.
They're stacked.
Where do I see all these teams?
They're stacked.
I can take 1 through 7 in the West and just honestly put them in a scramble and just pick whoever's coming out of there.
Because it depends who stays healthy.
You don't know how the Warriors are going to do playing without Durant. I think it's going to be a little bit of a struggle, because D'Angelo Russell shoots a lot. He's not as efficient as a player as Klay. Obviously, he's not the shooter as Klay is. But can he help drive that offense forward? And it's going to be a real question of what he can do there. The Warriors no longer have Livingston. They no longer have Iguodala. They no longer have Durant. They're missing a huge chunk of their team. DeMarcus Cousins is done too, although that may be for the better. It remains to be seen. It really does. I think the Lakers are vastly improved, but the Lakers still need to add to players. The Lakers still don't have a point guard. Rondo was horrible last season.
It's probably LeBron. LeBron's probably going to play the point, right?
One would assume so, but we know how that goes. Every time LeBron says he's going to do something vastly changes.
You can count on him to be unpredictable. No, that is fair.
He says one thing and then another thing happens. We're going to be patient with this young team in Cleveland in 14. What do? They trade Waiters, they trade Wiggins, gone. So much for that young team. All the young talent's gone other than Kyrie and Tristan within a year. In the Lakers organization. I'm going to be here. I'm here with the young guys. First couple of weeks going well. Uh-oh, not going so well anymore. Let's trade the whole team for Anthony Davis. The patience runs out.
Very fair. All right, let me ask you this. Something weird, if you will. What if
Brian, I expect nothing less from you.
What if the Cleveland Cavaliers jumped in with, don't forget, we have some expiring contracts. Maybe if we could get some draft picks to accumulate in the process of taking on a Chris Paul to get rid of, a Tristan Thompson, a J.R. Smith. I mean, they're making money.
The Cavaliers right now, the Cavaliers want to get their young players playing. Two, they want to sink. They haven't signed a free agent yet, okay? You think Chris Paul is going to be happy here? You're out of your damn mind.
Because we need that top 10 pick next year. We don't want to forfeit that away.
Also, you're going to bring Colin Sexton off the bench for a 34-year-old Chris Paul?
Well, that's a good way to tank, isn't it?
Chris Paul is so good.
I know he's still good. All right, so fine. We can put that one to bed. I just know that this is the chatter in Cleveland sports radio now. I was hearing the rumors about should we trade for Russell Westbrook, and probably every sports market is having these conversations right now. So it's worth discussing, but yeah, I know, probably not realistic. I don't know.
I'll be a straight shooter on the Cavs, and I'm just going to be realistic because I was having this conversation earlier. The Cavs are going to be garbage this season, straight trash. Whether Kevin Love is healthy or not, they're going to suck. They're going to absolutely suck and be horrible. Just be prepared to watch 0 games on TV. They're not going to be fun. They're not going to be entertaining. Nothing. They're going to suck. It is what it is.
By design.
For your head. This is, yes. I think it's a combination of design and just failure in free agency last year. And honestly, having an inexperienced general manager. Again, look what Griff's done in New Orleans so far with that roster. He's pulled together some really nice pieces in free agency via trade. They didn't have a choice about Anthony Davis, so he traded him. Turns out he got it. It wasn't, obviously, whenever you turn a superstar, it's never going to be amazing. Mm-hmm. But I think he got as good of a haul as he could for him. And he was very fortunate to land Zion. But they've done a lot of maneuvering. The Pelicans are a fun team to watch. They're one of those teams, you define a league pass team. They're a league pass team.
And you wonder if they could sneak into the playoffs. Who knows?
They're not going to sneak into the playoffs.
I'm trying to be optimistic.
Don't forget, you still have a team like Dallas where, where you expect, Luka Doncic to take a leap. If Porzingis comes back healthy, that's a team you expect to be better. I don't know if they're playoff bound yet, but let's see. They may be, they may not be. But again, that's another team that's going to take a leap. New Orleans could win 38, 39 games. That doesn't put you in the playoffs. I think you need to win 47 in the West to get in the playoffs.
So even under a best-case scenario, they're going to fall short, in your opinion?
If you're New Orleans, you want to fall short. There's no reason you're not going anywhere in the playoffs anyway. I don't think Zion's going to be as good as advertising his rookie year. I mean, my betting money is not on Zion to win Rookie of the Year this year. As good as I think he is, I think you're going to see him dealing with some injury concerns. I think he's going to have some really bad nights just due to conditioning. And I'm not saying he's in bad shape. I love Zion as a player. but don't expect the kid to put up 25 and 10 his rookie year. He's not going to do what Blake Griffin did his rookie year. I can almost guarantee that. He's going to be very, very fun to watch, but you're going to see some serious growing pains from him.
Mm-hmm.
It just is what it is. In today's NBA, he doesn't shoot, he's not, the thing is, this is different than 5, 6, 7 years ago. I truly see that Zion will be successful this year. I just don't see, if he wins Rookie of the Year, I'm not going to be surprised one bit. If John Morant wins Rookie of the Year, I won't be surprised one bit. Or R.J. Barrett, or even a guy like Darius Garland winning Rookie of the Year, I won't be surprised. I think there's a lot of guys who win. I really think this is an open field. This one of these years, Garland's going to get a lot of playing time if he's healthy in a really trashy lineup, in a really bad team. He can put up big numbers on a really crappy team. We witnessed that before. R.J. Barrett could do the same thing in New York on 38% shooting, could be putting up 23 points a game because the roster is so bad, and he'll be playing significant minutes. There's going to be a learning curve for all these players. Don't ever expect a rookie to positively contribute, and I'm talking make your team into a playoff team in their rookie year. Luka Doncic, as good as he was, the Mavericks still stunk. Trae Young, as good as he was, the Hawks still suck. You just need to be realistic with rookies sometimes. You do.
Right.
People thought Lonzo Ball was going to come in there and change the culture of the Lakers. Well, he's already gone.
Yeah, he is.
Brandon Ingram, who people were saying is the next Kevin Durant, is already gone. DeAndre Ayton, a fantastic center, had a great year. Centers just don't make that big of an impact in today's game. Traditionally in the 90s, in the 80s, 90s, DeAndre Ayton would have been an incredible player. But DeAndre Ayton's your classic center. He puts up good numbers, he gets the ball, he gets the rebound, he'll block some shots. Not a great defender, but he's a great offensive player in the paint. It's the same thing, these guys just don't have a high enough usage rate to make a difference. I discuss this all the time, and I always mention, it's like Anthony Davis, as great as he was in New Orleans, you cannot have a power forward with a low usage rate being your focal point of the offense. It doesn't work like that. You need a guy with a high usage rate, like a Russ, like a Harden, like a LeBron, like a Kyrie or Kevin Durant or a Steph, being your offensive focal point. And that's what's going to win you ball games. It also could kill you in the process. But at the same time, that's what wins you games, and you have your focal point of your offense is sitting there touching the ball a lot.
Right.
And that's why you really need to have strong wings. Having a strong two-guard, having a Dwayne Wade type, having that LeBron type. It's great to have a great point guard, but when you have a Giannis type player and you have strong wings on your team, that's how you win ball games. It just is what it is.
It's the Unhappy Hour.